once it reaches the top end. Let's see how the power delivery is. You cannot directly compare an R15 with this RC125 because what's up YouTube? Look at this amazing bike, the KTM RC125, and the KTM HRBR Layout showroom has given me this motorcycle for a test ride, that too for a little longer review. Oh boy, look at it. Somebody can tell that it's a 125cc motorcycle. I feel like this paint scheme is a little more better than the 390. Brilliant, that orange color, that on the rims, absolutely brilliant. So let's go for a ride and let's see how good this motorcycle is. It has that RC DNA in it. The reason is because it is little taller for me, but okay, I can have my foot planted, not completely, but I can have my foot planted. Mirrors seems to be wide, but let's go and check it out. My goodness, it is giving me a feel that I'm riding the RC390, but a too much tamed version of an RC390. It is the same chassis and it is the exactly same setup that you see on the other RC, the RC200 and the RC390, just that they have taken out the 125cc from the Duke 125 and kept it on this motorcycle. And you know something, I strongly believe that now this is going to be the entry level track bike for many motorcycle enthusiasts who are learning motorcycling now, because previously it is like the RC390 is a little bit of an uncontrolled breeze for the track if you are a beginner. So the RC200 was the motorcycle that was quoted as the apt motorcycle for an entry-level track guy. But this one, yes, this is a new guy. So if you are upgrading from a 150cc motorcycle, then I'll tell that just go and check out the RC200 first, because most likely you will feel that this motorcycle is little underpowered once it reaches the top end. Let's see how the power delivery is. Surprisingly, I have to say that this motorcycle feels much more comfortable, friendly, as well as slightly aggressive than the Duke 125. So to talk about the riding ergonomics, this motorcycle has that RC DNA in it. In the sense, the riding posture is absolutely committed with the 125cc engine, and the riding posture is a little more aggressive, where you have the handlebar almost in line with your seat and slightly rides at foot pegs. So in that sense, it's truly a sports motorcycle. It feels so nice that this RC is not scaring me out. I have to say that the mirrors are giving a good view what's there behind. Happy for that. Let me see if I can find some open roads. To be honest, it is very engaging and I can filter much easily on the traffic. I thought that the aggressive riding posture will give you a negative effect on filtering, but have to say that no. Once you're comfortable with this riding stance, it is much easy to use this in city. But yes, definitely you have to look forward for your backache issues if you have any, because I've seen that people telling if you have a lower back pain issue, then it's not a great idea to jump onto a sports motorcycle. So better you have to look forward for the Duke 125. It actually misses the bar and weights. I don't know why it is, but there is not much of a vibration even when I'm redlining. As you can see that the power delivery is very linear, unlike any other Duke or any other RC that you have seen. Of course, this carries the same engine from the Duke 125. So in that sense, it's much linear, much forgiving. You can learn many things on this motorcycle, because I've already felt that when you have a Duke 125, most people might be using it for city, for better traffic filtering and all. But the purpose of this motorcycle will be exclusively on track or on guard section. And I got a little bit of a corner back there, and what I can see is that you can enjoy those corners carefree without having that fear in your mind that you will slip the throttle and the bike goes out of control and all. To be honest, I have to say that I like the RC125 more than the Duke 125. Yes, of course, you know that I like sports motorcycles, but that's not the reason. This feels more comfortable, more nimble. You have more control on the bike. So in that sense, in this 125 segment of the Duke and the RC, I feel that this has completely taken it off. And yes, of course, you see this kind of a design. Generally, I don't stress much on the aesthetics of any motorcycle, but on this motorcycle, allow me to praise the beauty of this. I have some updates on the brakes as well as suspension. The brakes are actually moderately good, not the best that you see on an RC200 or a RC390, because yes, it's a bigger capacity motorcycle. You need that kind of a brake on that. This one, it is much more linear and much more beginner friendly, yes, of course. And the suspension setup is onto a little harder side. Just take it for a longer spin, you will get to know that the suspension is a little tighter. Don't get me wrong, this will help you in taking the corners much comfortably and with more confidence. The riding ergonomics, that's what I was telling you in the beginning. Like, you see the handlebar is almost in the level of the seat, and when you sit on this motorcycle, you have a slightly raised foot peg. And be a taller rider or a shorter rider, you have a nice rider's triangle. Only one thing is, being an RC, you have a little more taller motorcycle. That means shorter riders will find it a little difficult to get onto this motorcycle. But once it's rolling, it's like very nimble. It's not a heavy motorcycle at all. And that's about the rider seat. Pillion seat, usually I don't review much of a pillion seat of a KTM vehicle, especially the RC series. Yes, of course, if you have a size 0 girlfriend, no problem. You cannot force anyone to sit on the rear seat of this motorcycle. So that's it with the seating comfort and all. And yeah, I forgot to mention the seating comfort. The seat is a little onto a harder side. Yes, of course, the RC series are like that because it's mostly a track spec or a track based tool. You have harder seat, you have harder suspension. You feel that the center of gravity is a little lower. When you really dip into the corner, you feel that kind of a confidence coming out of the motorcycle. And it comes with MRF tires. For this kind of an engine, I feel that it is good. With the braking setup, with the engine setup, I feel that the tires are good. But if you go to higher CCs like the RC200 or the RC390, these are definitely not the ideal tires for an RC motorcycle. And this is what I was talking about. The exhaust is actually underneath, and it gives that typical KTM sound that you used to hear a couple of years back. Actually, I'm a fan of this kind of an exhaust sound than the newer RC. This almost feels like you're riding an aggressive machine. It gives you that kind of a vibration that always reminds you that you are riding a fast motorcycle. Okay, that's what I was telling. It's slightly a taller motorcycle, and I'll be sitting like this, and from this angle it looks so beautiful. Look at this orange shaped tank. I mean, I have to say that I wasn't a big fan of orange color before, but after seeing KTM motorcycle, the orange rim, the orange paint scheme and everything, I've started liking this orange black combination so much. So yes, this is my riding posture, and this will be an upright riding posture. If you just want me to compare the riding ergonomics with other motorcycle, not really in this segment, but in the other segment also. On the CBR 250R, you will be somewhere here. On the RR310, you will be here, and you have the RC. It's much more aggressive, man. So if you see, you have the engine kill switch here, ignition, and you have the high beam and the low beam. You have the pass switch here, the indicators, and you have the horn switch. And when you turn on the key, nothing comes in, because in KTM vehicles you have to turn on the kill switch also. You have pretty much all the information that you see on a KTM motorcycle. I mean, there are a lot of many things. You have the tachometer, speedometer, your heat level indicator, fuel level indicator, odometer, average speed, trip 1, trip 2. So pretty much it packs everything that you see on any other KTM motorcycle. They haven't compromised on anything. So it's a typical RC. The turning radius is little longer than the regular 150cc motorcycle, but you won't feel it heavy when you're taking U-turns. Still manageable in that way. The engine is much linear, much forgiving. If you're upgrading from a scooter, definitely this is one sport motorcycle that you can own. Of course, when you come from a scooter, then you can call it as a super sport riding posture. The engine doesn't kick you much, but still the riding posture will give you a feel that you are truly riding a super sport machine. And I see something which is not the regular thing with a KTM machine. On this one, I feel that the clutch feel is a little lighter. On the RC390, it is a little more onto a tighter side, so I'm happy about that. You can use this motorcycle for city use in that sense, and the gear shifts are very smooth. You won't be having any problem with that, because every other KTM vehicle you don't have to put much of a pressure to change from one gear to the other. Truly, I have to give a 10 out of 10 for the build quality on this motorcycle, because look at the plastic parts. It's all glossy. It looks very, very premium. Generally, this motorcycle goes to service once in 7,000 kilometers, which is similar to the bigger siblings in KTM. The first service will cost you somewhere from 800 to 900 rupees. and from the second service onwards it is 1500, and post the free services it will cost you somewhere from 3500. And as per the Duke 125 owners, few were getting around 50 to 55 kilometer per liter, especially on the highways. That's a really good mileage that you can get from this kind of an aggressive motorcycle. And altogether you have a tank range of around 350 to 400 kilometer. That's like wonderful. You can take this motorcycle for touring, but you have to be in perfect riding ergonomics if you are taking it for touring. I got many questions asking whether it's a good motorcycle when you compare it with an R15. I have to say that you cannot directly compare an R15 with this RC125 because primarily one reason. There are few things which misses out in R15 and there are few things which misses out in the KTM RC125. So the one which the KTM RC125 has is the aggression. The aggression and the look that it gives is like unbeatable, I have to say that. And what R15 gives is a better top end. You can cruise at 130, 140 no problem. Even say you are in 120 km per hour and you twist the throttle, you will get that punch. But on this motorcycle it almost fades away when you cross the mark of 110 km. But cornering wise, I have to say that this one outstands the R15, just because of the reason that this has a little lower center of gravity than the R15 version 3, and it is more committed than the R15. And definitely I'll tell you, you put a Metzeler on this one, going to be onto the next level. So who has to look for this kind of a motorcycle? If you are riding a smaller capacity scooter or a motorcycle and you want to get into a track based tool, then this one will be a better choice, because on track or on beyond any corner you don't have to worry much about your throttle without getting scared, and you can take long sweeping corners without any tension. But if you are already on a 200cc, then I'll tell that don't look at this 125, just go for the RC200 or the RC390, which is the ultimate track tool that you can buy. And the on-road cost of this motorcycle is 1,85,000. So if you ask me, is it a value for money machine? I cannot tell that it's a value for money machine. You have the equipment here with everything that you can ask for. That's only one point where I feel that KTM would have done a little more better. They could have priced it a little lesser, because it is almost 20k more than the Duke 125. You can push a little more money and buy many other motorcycles, but definitely you won't get the feel, or you won't get the aggression, or you won't get the cornering confidence on any of them. I know that people will tell that put some more money and buy a Dominar. Dominar could do a lot of things, but this can do many things in altogether different level. But all those things are like track level: more cornering, more fun, more aggression. If you're looking for comfort, there are n number of motorcycles that you can buy, but KTM is all about the race DNA that you get. So if you have any doubts on this motorcycle, do let me know in the comment section, and do check out the HRBR showroom in Bangalore, because they have given me this motorcycle for a longer review. I know these guys and they are like really good in sales, and they'll help you in getting a motorcycle at the earliest. And you can go and check out them, you can take test rides from them, and once you buy the motorcycle, just tag me in Instagram or in Facebook so that I can see your motorcycle. And that's it with this review. So hope it helped you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.